Welcome to my studio. We are here near Princeton, New Jersey, and I'm sorry that I cannot be there with you in person. As this video is broadcast, USA will be in its Thanksgiving break. Thanksgiving is when families and friends gather, and I will be spending much needed time with them. And as many of you know, we've been through quite a bit of challenge of late with Superstorm Sandy. But I woke up this morning and I want to show you what I woke up to. I'm going to walk around the studio toward the window, and this is what I woke up to. So the artist's role in society, in a community, or in a church is to pay attention, to bring to bear this authentic reality that is all around us, that perhaps are always available, and yet we have chosen to not pay attention to them as a whole. So when Van Gogh is looking at a cypress tree, or Emily Dickinson paying attention to a little hummingbird flying in between her flowers in her garden, they're really calling for this ability of to rehumanize us, to make us more aware of our surroundings. And why is that important? Why is beauty important to society? Well, one fact is this, that we are facing devastations all around us. We are facing death, certainly, all about us. And things are not the way they are meant to be, or way they are the world that ought to be. Things are not in the right order. There's a dysfunction and malaise that is pervasive in society and in the world, in the ecosystem as well. So we need to pay attention to those things, but the approach to such malaise can be being angry or being forceful about that to cause change in people's opinions. But those tend to be not as effective. And what artists bring to the conversation is this deeper reflection of not only what beauty is, but defining the world that ought to be, being able to see beyond the current realities, and even to the extent that our imagination allows us to see the world which doesn't exist yet. Now, when I talk about this from a theological perspective, it's rather fascinating that the language that I use for art is very similar. There's quite a bit of overlap with the language of the mystics, language of prayer. A Catholic theologian that I rely on a lot of late, Balthasar, has spoken of beauty this way in his book, Seeing the Form. He writes this: we no longer dare to believe in beauty, and we make of it a mere appearance in order that more easily to dispose of it. Our situation today shows that beauty demands for itself at least as much as courage and decision as do truth and goodness. And beauty will not allow herself to be separated and banned from her two sisters without taking them along with herself in an act of mysterious vengeance. We can be sure that whoever sneers at her name as if she were the ornament of a bourgeois past, whether he admits it or not, can no longer pray, and soon will no longer be able to love. What is Balthasar saying? Well, I think he's connecting a Trinitarian, kind of a Trinitarian perspective here, not just of the theological Trinity, but the Trinity of goodness, truth, and beauty, which actually theologically is related to the Trinity, I think. What is happening with beauty is the canary in the coal mine. Beauty sings when she smells poison. And when beauty is dismissed as merely cosmetic or as something extra to our lives, we also dismiss, as Balthasar says, her two sisters, goodness and truth. Anytime you remove one from the other components of reality, beauty, goodness, and truth, you end up truncating and killing off all of them. So when Balthasar says that we can no longer pray when we lose beauty from our lives, and we will no longer be able to love, he's saying that fundamentally the essence of our being is connected to all three factors. And whether you are a believer and follower of Jesus Christ, or whether you hold no position in terms of religious inclinations, we know this to be a grand reality of our lives. So after a havoc of something like a superstorm Sandy, 9/11, or personal tragedy that we go through, sometimes the only thing that can bring us back is the experience of beauty. And this morning, as I looked out, as I woke up here in Fuji Farm and looked out at the stunningly beautiful light that was beaming down from the sunrise, I realized how much I needed this. And because after a storm, the last thing you want is another storm. And this nor'easter that was coming was going to be not as nasty as the superstorm, but it was going to be, there was a possibility of another outage. Electricity might be out again, and we had lost about a week of that, going through a cold period and trying to survive. And you're saying to yourself, no, it can't happen again, and you're fighting that. And yet what is most important at that time is you wake up in the morning and you're stunned and surprised by beauty. That there is a reality, a greater reality, that can speak to us at the very moment of vulnerability, of weakness. And this reality, what I believe, what I call grace, can transcend the trauma that we are going through in our lives. So artists are the ones who connect these dots, and I believe they have the capacity to connect goodness, truth, and beauty as well. But the problem of the art world has been that these three elements has not been dealt with in a postmodern language of cynicism and despair. And so I believe that for those of us who are cognizant of this connection, we have a very important role to play in culture. And it is not just to help people see beauty, but even to awaken that community to realize what beauty is and to provide an artifact, whether it be paintings, poetry, theater, dance, whatever the form may be, music, that we give our community a vision of what the three sisters, as Balthasar says, connected can look like. So that's my hope as an artist working here. And I hope you will journey with me and others. By the way, you do not have to be an artist to do this. You can be a creative catalyst, as we call people in international arts movement, to bring these elements together. And Fujimura Institute, as part of I Am, is to integrate these elements in various disciplines, to return multiversities, I call them. Universities are no longer able to have these disciplines speak to each other. So I'm hoping that through the discipline or practice of making art, that these elements can come together once again. So I hope you will journey with us. For those of you who are still in Hong Kong next week, actually I am going to be in Hong Kong. So perhaps we can talk about these things in detail. Thank you, and God bless you.